your wholesomeness. And when we go back, apart from carrying what you have taught us, we will also be entering into another ashram. What kind of modifications, especially regarding the rituals of our prayers and all these things we have been following for years, should be looked upon and modified if necessary? In what manner? Or we can concise into a certain smaller mantra or whatever it is other than this. Or that is not necessary at all.
How can I tell you how to run the various other ashrams? I know how to run this one. How to run all the other ashrams in the world. So, about the rituals that you're doing, you've already been making it more and more compact. Your grandfather was doing puja for 2 hours, your father was doing it for 1 hour, you brought it down to 10 minutes, isn't it? Now, this is a genuine issue for a lot of people, in different scale maybe. You've been doing something and should I stop that? So generally, the family traditions, whatever you've been doing, is more as a tradition, not really as with an understanding of what it does to you. More because there's an emotional significance to it. Your father was doing puja to this photograph. You don't want to suddenly throw that away tomorrow morning. There's a certain emotion and family and stuff. You can keep them. Why you want to destroy all the culture in your house? Not necessary. But if it doesn't mean anything, there's no point continuing either. But if it emotionally means something, you can leave it there. There's no hassle about it. It's not going to harm you in any way, at least. It is just that it's better to invest time where you are doing things with more understanding and result-oriented sadhana rather than simply doing something. So generally, all the mantras and preparation, one aspect of the mantra is it is being done for material well-being. People are doing various types of mantras to bring material well-being. What I would say is, when it comes to material well-being, it is better to equip yourself, to create that for yourself, rather than waiting for some other grace to descend upon you, because there isn't that much time in a lifetime. If you sit and, from the age of 20, if you start praying and praying and praying to God that you must become rich, become rich, become rich. Suppose it worked when you're 80. That's going to be an insult, At least if you die poor, it's okay. You didn't get the money when you need it. You didn't get the money to spend it. Now you're 80 and now it worked. And especially when you're 80, if you get too much money, everybody around you will wish you dead soon. Everybody will think, why this old bugger needs money, why doesn't he die? They may not express it, but people are thinking. In spite of themselves, many people feel guilty that they're thinking like this, but still they think, they can't help it. So their prayers may get answered. Yes. After all, their prayer also has power, isn't it? So, we'll come to that. So now, when it comes to material well-being, it's always best that you equip yourself to earn what you want, and it's no big deal, it can be done if only if you equip yourself. If you don't clutter yourself with too much nonsense and greed in you, if you simply equip yourself, everybody can reasonably earn what they want, of course considering the social situations of that particular society. What is rich in one society and what is poor in another society is very different, isn't it? Yes? See, now the village that we went to, if a man earns 100 rupees a day, he feels quite rich. That's $2 per day. Do you understand? Not $2 per hour. You're earning what, $50 per hour? Even if you're just a laborer somewhere else? $2 per day, he feels quite great. If he earns $4, he's super rich. So what is poverty, what is wealth is very social, isn't it? Today, because of the communication levels, everybody is trying to become a billionaire, and which is anyway not sustainable. It can be a huge collapse for the whole world somewhere. That's different. Otherwise, always what is affluence and what is poverty is very, specific society, isn't it? Among those people. See, right now, one of the laborers bought a new bicycle today. His joy is untold, You won't have that joy even if you get the Mercedes, because there's somebody else driving a Maserati. So, what is, in terms of physical positions, what is rich and poor is a very relative thing, it's a social thing, it's not a… So within the norms of that society, earning what you want is not difficult if you just don't get too cluttered up in your head. Everybody can do it. It doesn't take any great intelligence to make money. Just need some perseverance and some doggedness to pursue something and make some money out of it. Because people are too screwed up in their heads, every little thing is so difficult for them. Otherwise, in that society, making some reasonable levels of well-being, material well-being, is not difficult to anybody with normal sense of intelligence. You don't have to be extraordinarily brilliant for that. In fact, brilliant people don't make much money because they're smart. Irene was asking about my travels. I said I travel everywhere in the world without even $1 in my pocket. I don't have a single dollar in my pocket. I go to any part of the world without any problem. And I've been having a credit card that somebody got me. In the last 6 years, I have not used it even once. It never occurred to me that I must get into credit, nor the requirement came. Always something will happen around me, So, isn't it very smart to live without money? That's the problem. That's what I said, they get cluttered. They got envy, they got jealousy, they got problems what other people will think. Because of this, they cannot employ anything of themselves properly. That is the whole problem. Now when you have no sense of envy, no sense of jealousy, no sense of comparing yourself with somebody else, you will use everything that you have properly, and what has to happen around you will happen according to your capability, that's all. And everybody has enough capability to earn what is necessary for him. He doesn't have to go through big circus to do it. With reasonable circus, he can do it. You are investing your whole lifetime to make a living. What's the point? Yes? Most people are investing their whole lifetime just for their material well-being, isn't it so? Dying to live, this is called. You don't want answers, only questions? So, if it comes to material well-being, please just use your brains and your body, it'll happen. And the practices that you have started definitely will enhance your ability to use both your body and mind in a big way, in a very big way. I would say 25–30% of your time in a day if you spend, you must be able to earn sufficiently to live well. Rest of the time, you must focus on other dimensions of your life. That's how life should be. In 24 hours, if you work for 4 hours or 5 hours, you must earn enough money to live well, actually. There's no need to spend 18 hours just trying to earn money, If you're doing something else that you care to do, that's different. You work 24 hours a day. That's a different thing. So if it's money and material thing, not necessary to invoke gods, If you're doing it for your spiritual well-being, if you're worshipping gods for spiritual well-being, then you must understand it is only a preparatory step. It can never be the whole thing. Whatever gods you pray to for your spiritual well-being, it is only a preparatory step for you unless you're willing to walk the path of devotion 100%. Devotion is the quickest way to get there. But today, the way you have become, with the intellect being brought forth to this level, you cannot be a devotee. Isn't it, Anki? Huh? Let me come to this. The word devotion means dissolution. The word devotion comes from the root word dissolution. When we say a devotee has no agenda of his own. His only objective is to dissolve into his object of devotion. That's all. He is not thinking of living well. He is not thinking of becoming rich. He is not thinking of going to heaven. Let's say he's a devotee of Shiva, means he just wants to merge, he wants to die into Shiva. That's all he knows. Are you like that? No. For you, devotion is a currency. Devotion is a currency for easier life, isn't it? Look at the prayers in the world. 99% of the prayers are just about adu kudupa, idu kudupa, kapattupa. That means, give me this, give me that, save me, protect me. Isn't it so? This is not devotion, this is a deal. This is not devotion, you're trying to make a deal, a stupid deal. So, if you really want to become a devotee and you want to attain to the ultimate through devotion, then you have no agenda for yourself. You don't want life to go your way. You just want to merge with Him, that's all you have. If you are like that, devotion is the quickest way to realization. It's very quick. But today, with all your education and this questioning mind, devotion is out of question. Please look at it. Are you capable of becoming truly devout to somebody? Are you? No. So don't talk about it. I don't say there is no element of devotion at all in you. There is. It can serve some purposes, but it can't be your way to the ultimate. You understand what I'm saying? You can take small rides on it. Today you sit in the temple for 10 minutes and feel, Shiva, save me. And you get confidence to go through the next 24 hours. To that extent it works. But it cannot be your ultimate journey because your intellect is not willing to bend down to anybody totally. Unless you come to a certain level of experience where you naturally progress into your devotee. Here it happens, people come to the ashram as investigators, slowly they become students, then they become disciples, then they become devotees. That is a natural progression of life. As their experience becomes deeper and deeper, they have no option. They're too overwhelmed with what's happening here, then they can't help bowing down completely. Just bowing down, touching somebody's feet is not devotion. You're bending down because there's going to be a benefit. Yes, somebody has told you if you get blessings from somebody, some guru, things will happen well, your business will work well, your children will be healthy, something else will happen. So you bend down, it's okay, you get that also. To that extent, devotion works for you, but not as an ultimate vehicle to take you beyond. So you have to use other things that you have. You are right now enjoying the circus of the intellect. You like it. If you think of something, you feel great. Yes? What you think of is nothing new because it's always there in nature. If you just had eyes to see, every damn thing that you discover has already been there, isn't it? Yes. Suppose you discover something today, you get very thrilled, isn't it? You spend your life, your whole lifetime just under that thrill. But what you don't understand is, whatever the great discovery that you have done, The very earth that you walk on knows it. What you call as, we call it mud, but in other countries, in America, they call it dirt. Dirt knows better than your brains. Yes or no? Everything that you know, the planet already knows, isn't it? Everything that you reinvent, the planet already knows. So there's no big deal about that, but you're thrilled with the circus of the intellect. So if you're thrilled with that, let's use the intellect. That's why we would have… if you are more of emotion than intellect, or if you are more of body than intellect, or if you're more of energy than intellect, we would have structured this program in a different way. Because you're more of intellect and less of other things, that is why so much talking is happening. If you were more energy, I would have just clapped and sat here and the rest would happen. I don't have to go on talking. But you like words. You like the circus of the intellect. So I'm putting you through the circus, a little better circus than you know, that's all. Yes or no? So, it's better you use the other faculties also now, because devotion is unavailable to you. Not because devotion is bad, devotion is the quickest way. It has always been and it always will be. But you have to remove yourself, you have to uproot yourself, only then it works. Otherwise it doesn't work. But today, because intellect has developed and a certain prominence and identification has come to the intellect, you can't brush it aside. Nobody can brush their intellect aside. Can you? Can you just brush your intellect aside and just surrender to me right now? You cannot do it. If you say that, you're big bullshit, I know that. I've seen too much life to know such things, believe such things, So, every other day people are coming, Sadhguru, I'm offering my life to you. Oh, okay. Let's wait till tomorrow morning. Every day somebody is offering their life to me, millions of people, but it's only a few who really manage that. They are different. All others, at that moment, when their emotions are on the upsurge, they really feel like it, they're not lying. But they don't know the limitations of who they are, that's all. But I know them very well. So devotion, as an ultimate vehicle for you, will not work in your present state of mind. It's not possible for you. You're too committed to your body and your intellect. You cannot drop them all of a sudden and become a devotee. So, whatever practices you do are basically devotion-oriented, isn't it? Devotion is good, it brings. Devotion as an act is vulgar. Devotion as a way of life is wonderful. So, if you go devotion, you have to see whether you have it or not in you, whether it's something that works for you. It doesn't work because you're thinking. Thinking people cannot be devout. So instead of that, it's better you develop little reverence to life around you. When you have this mind, don't talk devotion. If you come to such a point that the experience of life or somebody's presence has so overwhelmed you that your mind is just sank into the background, what you think and what you feel is no more important, somebody else has become much more important for you, then devotion is a possibility. You must know how to fall in love, otherwise devotion is not possible. You must understand the English expression, falling in love is very significant. Because you can't stand in love, you can't climb in love, you can't fly in love, you have to fall in love. That means who you are should fall, only then it'll happen. So if you're a lover, a true lover, that means you are not important. What happens to you is not important. Only then devotion is a possibility. Then it's a very quick path. It's the quickest. Now, this is a genuine issue for a lot of people, in different scale maybe. You've been doing something and should I stop that? See, generally the family traditions, whatever you have been doing, is more as a tradition. Not really as with an understanding of what it does to you, more because there's an emotional significance to it. So, about the rituals that you're doing, you've already been making it more and more compact. Your grandfather was doing puja for 2 hours, your father was doing it for 1 hour, you brought it down to 10 minutes, isn't it?
Other than this, or that is not necessary at all.
How can I tell you how to run the various other ashrams? I know how to run this one. How to run all the other ashrams in the world.
Your wholesomeness. When we go back, apart from carrying what you have taught us, we will also be entering into another ashram. What kind of modifications, especially regarding the rituals of our prayers and all these things we have been following for years, should be looked upon and modified if necessary? In what manner? Or we can concise into a certain smaller mantras or whatever it is.
Your father was doing puja to this photograph. You don't want to suddenly throw that away tomorrow morning. There's a certain emotion and family and stuff. You can keep them. Why you want to destroy all the culture in your house? Not necessary. But if it doesn't mean anything, there's no point continuing either. But if it emotionally means something, you can leave it there. There's no hassle about it. It's not